Hi everyone, hope you are feeling positive and healthy. Please subscribe with all bell notifications if you haven't already, and please don't hesitate to leave your valuable feedback and advice below. Thank you very much. Let's jump into the stories. My M37 wife, F34, asked me if I wanted to sleep with other women while she recovers from pregnancy. What now? My wife had a baby 4 months ago. Thankfully she and the baby are now perfectly okay. But the labor was pretty tough, and she's still getting back to her old self, still healing physically, and adapting to this new lifestyle emotionally. She's really fatigued. We both are. I have a pretty high sex drive, but that obviously is the last thing that's been on my mind since she's come home and not something that I've brought up at all. I figured when she was ready, she'd initiate something. She's never hesitated to initiate before. But last night she blurted out that she wasn't sure when she'd feel like having sex again. So if I wanted to see a woman for sexual purposes only, it was okay. I didn't really know what to say to that. Obviously I have no interest in screwing around on my wife, the mother of my newborn, and the fact that it even crossed her mind to say makes me really nervous that I am missing some serious crisis of confidence and not doing enough to intervene. I said all the obvious things. I would never do that. I don't want to do that. You're the only person I ever want to be with and that's why I married you, etc. But that doesn't feel like enough. I've been trying to get her to talk about it all day, but she won't have a conversation about it, just saying, I get it. You don't want to. Great. Can we drop it please? Not in a mad way, really, just straight up avoiding it. I asked my brother, the only other married guy I'm close to, and the only thing he could think of is she was trying to tell me she wanted to see other people. But that doesn't really align with how our life has been progressing. The baby was planned. We've been married 7 years with a great, robust, healthy sex life before the baby, and she was clear when proposing this that I could not have a social relationship with any woman I picked. What do I do now? What does it mean that she even proposed that? Was she trying to be nice, or does she think I have so little self-control that I would cheat on her because I have to keep it zipped for a few months? I'm really at a loss, but I know whatever it is, it probably isn't nothing. Any advice? Especially from people who have been through pregnancy? TLDR, my wife had a baby so can't have any sex for a few months. That's fine by me. I don't even bring sex up. I was waiting for her to. But last night she said if I wanted to sleep with some other woman until she could have sex again it was okay. Should I be worried she's having serious self-esteem issues? Or that she's cheating on me? She won't talk to me about it, but I don't know what it means that the thought even crossed her mind. Very out of character for her, and us. Also, thank you so much for all the advice. I don't have time to respond to each individual comment as I would like to, but I so appreciate each of you and I'm reading them all with great appreciation for your insights. It could have come from a place of guilt and sadness. If you're being the supportive partner you say you're being, and she looks at you and feels love, but zero desire because her body has been injured from childbirth and her hormones means she is dry as a bone down there and has not even the tiniest inkling of wanting sex with anyone, she might feel sad and guilty that you're not getting your needs met while you're being a wonderful partner and father. She may regret saying it as well, which is why she brushed it off. This could be a case of this being a red herring, because the real issue caused her to say this. It might help to ask her if you two can find a time to check in with each other, connect and cuddle, just cuddle, and tell about how amazing and difficult becoming parents has been. Hopefully she says something like tomorrow night and you two can just talk and talk. She can share feelings, you can share your experience and thoughts and how amazing your kid is. She may need a cry. She might be angry. You won't know until she lets it out. Good luck. I would guess she's feeling a bit insecure since it happens a lot. Perhaps she's a little emotional still from the birth. I'm pretty sure it takes a long ass time for all the hormones and whatnot to settle down. I wouldn't worry about it, just drop it and reinforce that you love her and think she's the sexiest woman alive. If it ever does start becoming an issue for you then you could always just discuss it then, far better than ruining your relationship trying to be sneaky. My 25 years old female girlfriend wants me, 29 years old male, to move somewhere for her potential job. Hi all, throwaway account. I've been with my current GF for a year and a half now, and we've lived together for around 6 months. She's finishing her master's in the spring of 2020. Due to her degree, work eligibility status, foreigner seeking work in the US, and the extremely strict field requirements for her career, she's having a real tough time finding meaningful work in the US. Foreigner working in intelligence in the US. It's more of an issue that she isn't a US citizen yet that's restricting her from the vast majority of jobs. She wants to open up her options and get a tangentially related job so she can work on the requirements to eventually get the job she wants. This would require her to move next year to somewhere where she could get a job, and then she says it's possible that she'll need to move again in 2 to 4 years after getting some experience and fulfill eligibility requirements. This is the part where we're butting heads. I have job I love and would much prefer to stay. Financially, I'm not quite there, and would need her support in both moves plus being without a job for at least 2 months due to the nature of hiring for my job. She said it's fine as long as I pay her back eventually, which I found a bit unfair, as I felt I was getting the short end of the stick, leaving a job I love, no job for 2 months, leaving my family, and having to commit to 2 moves within 2 to 4 years. I proposed we live long distance until she knew it was time to settle down somewhere. She was hesitant on 1 year and would not consider anything longer than that. I'm at a loss on what to do here. I vote stand your ground and stay at the job you like for now. Long distance can tell you how much you feel like you want to be with her, and vice versa. The paying her back thing is odd. I would expect that if she's asking you to make this move for her, she would be willing to cover you for a couple months while you resituate and look for a new job. Plus there's no guarantee you'll be able to find one right away. Would she expect you to pay her back for 6 months of living expenses if it takes that long? Don't move for an SO unless you're married, or going to get married. People get burned by this all the time. I proposed to my wife when I was relocating for professional school so any major moves wouldn't create a conflict of interest for her. I didn't want her to have to abandon her job and financial stability to come with me without any guarantees. You shouldn't be expected to do any different. If you really like the city she's moving to and you want to go independently of her, give it a shot. But if you're moving there for her, you have a lot to lose if things go south. High school bully wants me to go out on a date with him, but I don't like him. Growing up, I was severely underweight and also had braces. I was not an attractive girl and was also very awkward, but now I, 24 years old female, had a glow up, and I'm proud of myself. I am confident and love myself. A few weeks ago, my high school bully, let's call him Jack, sent me a DM on Instagram. He was talking about how I look so pretty now and that he couldn't believe it. He then asked me out on a date because I'm his ideal type. He was shamelessly flirting as if he didn't bully me in high school. I'm not the kind of person to hold a grudge for so long, but Jack ruined my self-esteem. He would push me, make fun of me in front of everyone, and made my high school years hell. I can't forgive him for all the craps he put me through, and I would never go out with him. I rejected his offer and told him to piss off. Jack said it's unfair that I do not forgive him, and we are adults now. I told him I would forgive him when I want to, but I would not go out with him. He is now mad at me for using his past to judge him. Jack's friends want me to go out with him because we would look good. I'm furious at everyone because he's only approaching me because I'm his type now. If was still skinny, face with acne and had braces on, he wouldn't even apologize and would continue making fun of me. Am I doing the right thing, or should I just suck it up and go out with him? He still believes that he has the power to bully you and is trying to bully you into dating him. So yes, you're doing the right thing. Tell him to F off. Tell him to F off. I think my girlfriend, 31 years old female, is lying about having a stalker. Not sure how to confront her. We've been together almost 6 years now. We have a 1-year-old kid together. About 8 to 9 months ago I got a letter addressed to my workplace from some unknown guy saying he loved my girlfriend, that he knows where I live/work, yada yada yada, just typical stalker stuff. I obviously went to my girlfriend about it, and she said that she knows who it was from. It was an ex-boyfriend of hers, and that we should just ignore him. I keep getting these letters every few weeks, slowly getting a bit more aggressive, but no death threats or anything. I talked to my girlfriend about getting the police involved, but she refused because she felt bad for him. He's harmless, she doesn't want to ruin his life, etc. Then it escalated and I found my car tires had been slashed, the back window to my house smashed, and, presumably, this person had gained access to my house, but I couldn't find anything missing/moved, so I don't know if he actually entered my house. At this point I told my girlfriend that we had to get the police involved, but she absolutely refused and said she would not forgive me if I went against her wishes on this. Then I asked her to meet me halfway and tell me who this mysterious ex-BF is, but she again refused because she thought I would tell the police about him. Now I am wondering whether this person actually exists. I can't comprehend why my GF would be opposed to me going to the cops about a potentially dangerous stalker. I have no evidence this is a real person, only my GF's word. On the other hand, why? Why would she fake this? Our relationship has never been perfect, But we also aren't abusive or dysfunctional. Requesting advice from you lot on how to confront my GF on this. I don't want to give her an opportunity to spin an elaborate set of lies if this is indeed a fiction. Anyone got advice? DLDR, GF has a stalker. I'm beginning to doubt stalker exists. Tell her that your concern for your child's safety as well as your own is more important than whether or not she forgives you, so you will be going to the police immediately. Full stop. If it's really her, this should make her fess up. If it's really an ex, then going to the police is the right thing to do. The only thing I can think of this situation is real, that she herself has gotten way more disturbing messages, and maybe she did get death threats, than you did, so maybe she's scared for her life, or she's living a double life and this stalker ex isn't an ex exactly, but someone she's having an affair with. Someone she maybe told bad stuff about you, hence the threats on you account, but this is as far as my own imagination goes. My 29 years old female, boyfriend 31 years old male, drunkenly confessed to me that his ex-wife violently abused him. Okay, so I'm going a little crazy here, so bear with me if it sounds rambly. Last night my boyfriend came over to my place and we both got pretty drunk. He more so than I. We were talking about exes and various other things. I told him about the worst experience I had with an ex, and then asked his. He then started talking about how his ex-wife would hit him and throw things at him, and he said it all very casually like that part was normal, but that the worst was when she tried to literally cut his dick off. Tried being the operative word. He said that's when he decided to get divorced. I knew about his ex-wife's existence, but he never had talked about her much before. He has a bunch of scars pretty much all over his body, but I never asked about them because I figured it might be personal. I might have already screwed up because last night when he was talking about it I asked further what else happened and he talked about her hitting him in public, but making it look like he instigated it, burning him, having her family threaten him, etc. I was basically just in shock and didn't really say anything. He said that I'm not like that though and then rambled a bit and passed out. I don't think he really remembers much of last night, but I've been driving myself nuts here. What do? Do I bring it up? Do I ignore it until he says something about it when unimpaired? I've been fortunate enough to avoid anything like that, so I don't really have any clue what to do. Tell him you love him. He told you the truth, that you love him, and that the behavior his ex was not at all normal and that you love him. As a man who has been through similar relationship with a violent partner, I can say that it is very difficult to open up about it to anyone. My current partner knows that my ex was violent towards me, and it seems like she does not know the full extent of the violence and gaslighting. It is not easy to explain how my psychological and emotional scars affect me in every aspect of life. I have told her a story about having scratches on my face from my ex who attacked me, then being teased about being the domestically abused guy at work. How she would set up situations the same way to look like I was the abuser, knowing I wouldn't confess to being beaten by my partner. Maybe I was expecting too much of a reaction because we never speak about it anymore. I have hundreds of similar stories that I go over in my head all the time, but I don't feel that my current spouse thinks it is that big a deal. I think it is great that you are willing to speak to him about it. Men who are victims of abuse do not have many avenues for sympathy or understanding. I think he will open up if you are persistent and stress to him you want to help him heal. Don't let him downplay it. I, 21 years old female, think my roommate, 22 years old female, is trying to make me gain weight secretly. I consider myself a fit person. I work out every day, eat healthy, and sometimes will post about fitness on my social media. Now, don't get me wrong, I also love dessert and salt and think it is reprehensible to judge someone based on size. My roommate is a girl I know from college. She is on the opposite end of the weight spectrum. She has told me before she is obese and proud of it. This is not an issue. I do not care what she looks like as long as she is happy. I will not lie and say I haven't worried secretly about her health before, but it is not my place to say something. Now here is my problem. Recently, whenever roommate has been cooking, she has been making some for me too. Huge portions, typically something I would make last for 2 days. She gets upset when I do not finish, or tells me it would mean a lot to her if I ate it. She told me I would look nice with a little meat on my bones. She also threw away some of my fresh produce the other day, telling me it had gone bad. Whenever I go to stay at my girlfriend's apartment, she says she worries because I don't eat enough and my girlfriend doesn't care. Finally, today when I was going to make a smoothie for breakfast, I noticed my oat milk was different. Oat milk has a less white color and is not as thick. This looked like whole milk. I tasted it, and I'm pretty sure it was. I got so weirded out and just decided to dump it down the sink. Roommate saw me and tried to stop me, telling me I just bought it 2 days ago. It can't be bad, just use it. I didn't listen and kinda just excused myself, saying I told my girlfriend I'd go over to hers today. Now I'm sitting here racking my brain with my girlfriend, feeling absolutely paranoid. I'm not allergic to anything, but if she is secretly messing with my food, that feels so invasive. Do I confront her about this? Lock my food up? Put my foot down and tell her I refuse to discuss weight anymore? Please help. You need to confront your roommate and set some boundaries. You appreciate her cooking, but she needs to respect your choice about how much you eat. When you are done, you are done. She needs to stop body shaming you. You decide how you want your body to be, not her. She is not to touch your food, ever again. You will throw out produce it if it's bad. She is welcome to inform you that it has gone bad, but you will throw it out. She is to leave your oatmeal alone. Make it clear that if she cannot respect these boundaries, you will be looking for a new living arrangement. Oh yikes, it's one thing to offer you large portions of food, but it's another thing to get upset when you don't eat them. A far worse thing to mess with your food, throwing things away or swapping them without your consent. I think you absolutely need to sit down and have a very direct conversation about this. Be clear with her that you have no ill will toward her about her weight. If she wants to be obese, and is proud of being obese, that's her right as an individual. It is not okay for her to try to force that on you. Set a house rule of no body talk. You already don't criticize her body, and she has no excuse to criticize yours. Stress that you prefer to choose the kinds of foods you eat. If she offers you food in the future, and you want to accept, ask to serve yourself so you don't unintentionally waste any if she finds that upsetting. If she refuses, then you refuse to eat what she has made. Set a strict boundary between your food and her food. Even if she thinks your produce has gone bad, she needs to tell you so you can take care of it if necessary. The oat milk swapping thing is a trickier issue. I would ask her, point blank, if she swapped it out. This gives her a chance to come clean, and you can decide if you trust her or not. If she vehemently denies this, I don't think you can trust her not to do things along this line in the future. I would move out ASAP if so, because who knows what else she might sabotage. I worry that this girl might be jealous of your girlfriend in some way. It almost sounds like Rumi thinks your girlfriend doesn't feed you enough, so Rumi has to do it. Or maybe she's trying to make you gain weight and therefore not be attractive to your girlfriend, so you break up and then get with Rumi? Not saying that any of that would actually happen, but this girl seems to have some major boundary issues. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories delivered to you. Thanks for listening. See you later.